Welcome back to the Ref Show, and still with the Premier League. Before we move on to the Championship and other talking points, Kevin Friend. Now, occasionally he's been criticised on this show, Mark, but he handled Chelsea's 3-0 victory over Crystal Palace. Do you want to make a positive point?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I thought I mean, Kevin's a very good referee, and I think he's just at the moment suffering with a lack of confidence. Now that comes from the coaching setup, the management side of it. So it was good to see. I mean, Chelsea's second goal with Willian. I mean, fantastic advantage played by Kevin. Could have easily stopped the game. You have a ceremonial free kick just outside the box, and well done, Kevin. I thought it was a wonderful advantage, and that's what we want to see. Just like to see him with a little bit more confidence, not being so fussy. On when he referees games, and I think he'd be fine.
And talking refreshing things, David, in the Manchester United game against Swansea, 2-1 win, this was John Moss refereeing, Rangel went down. There appeared to be some contact from behind. He's clearly looking for a penalty. He gets a yellow card for simulation. And unusually here, the Swansea player, Rangel, has come out publicly and apologised and said, yeah, I took a dive.
Yeah, I mean, it's refreshing, but we don't want to see it.
No. but then when a player comes out like that, then I'd like to see the FA come and take action.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, but then again,
he had the
it's a
card.
double standard.
Yeah.
If he comes out and says, "Yeah, I dove," and the FA take action, then that's going to stop other people actually doing it and saying that they did it, and so it's a little bit of a tricky one, really. But yeah, it's good that he comes out and says what he's done. But should he really be in that situation? Don't do it.
That's right. It's a disease in our game that we want stamped out.
There's not been as much of it, I think, this season.
I do understand that if you're in and around the penalty area and you get a clip, strikers.
But he did. Technically, he did.
We're looking at one here.
Strikers are going to ask the question of the referee. If the referee gets it wrong, well, that's a little bit of the nature of the beast at times. But
he's asked the question of the referee, isn't he?
Yeah,
the referee's done it, and the referee's cautioned him. So well done, John Moss.
Finally, in the Premier League, Craig Pawson. I know you want to raise one or 2 points here. This was Sunderland's victory over Aston Villa. A couple of great goals from Jermaine Defoe. Should it have been a hat-trick?
Yes, I think it should have been. I mean, you can obviously see that Dave Bryant, who was assistant on that side, has got it wrong. I don't want to be seen to be criticising Dave Bryant, but he's been a great servant to the Premier League. I think he must be coming on for 54. I'm sure he's 54 or 55. I think age has caught up with him, and I think it's time for David perhaps to just move aside. He's been, as I say, he's been a fantastic servant to the Premier League and for his services, but I think there comes a stage where, I mean, I've watched him a few times this season, and he's been out of position and he's not been in line with the offside. So. No offence, David, but as I say, you've been a great servant. I think it's perhaps time to move on.
Wrapping up the live football with the Championship, Burnley and Ipswich 0-0. Peter Banks was in charge of this. I happened to see a clip of this. Ben Mee's goal disallowed. I don't know if you saw it, but it looked a perfectly good goal that was ruled out there. I don't know if he thought it was handball or not, but that was a talking point in that one. Andy Haynes, remember he got loads of stick from both Sheffield clubs here for Sheffield teams, but here I saw him play a great advantage. You talk about Kevin Friend's one. This was for Huddersfield's second goal, Mustafa Carriol in their win at Bolton.
Do you have to mention that against my boys Bolton?
I'm afraid I do.
Let's move on.
I've done it on purpose, brought that one in. And just finally from the Championship.
Just because your Chesterfield won 7-1 on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
the mighty Chesterfield.
It's all because you were there.
I was there. I was the mascot for the day, I think. Yeah, so I'll be invited back, no doubt.
I was at Middlesbrough Derby, top game in the Championship. Great performance from Middlesbrough, 2-0 winners, and also from the unnoticed referee, Neil Swarbrick. I thought really had a good game. He's not getting Premier League games, though, is he?
I think he's upset the management, and talking from experience, if you upset the management, then you're out of the Premier League.
Is that as simple as that?
It's as simple as that. If you upset,
shall we pull him another chair up here? Shall we? Is that how it's working these days?
I feel for him. I think Neil's he's a terrific guy. I think he's a very good referee. He's played the game. He knows the game. And as I say, I think he's been hard done by at the moment, not picking up Premier League games because he's obviously upset the management in some sort. So let's hope this performance puts him back into the shop window. But I know what it's like. Talking from experience, you upset them, you're out for 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks, whatever. But it's hope he's getting. Hopefully we'll see him back in the Premier League more often.
Okay, right. Sin bins and all sorts of other talking points here. Bradley Marvell, and thanks for all of these, by the way. He's in favour of sin bins. He says, should be 10 minutes for a yellow, a send-off for a second, but worried that football will lose spontaneity with a video referee. brought in. And similar comments here from Roger Wall. He's against sin bins. He says it's another layer of punishment that would introduce another layer of inconsistency. He also says it would induce defensive tactics from teams reduced to 9 or 10 players for a period of time in a game. And from Canada, Andrew Murty says he'd like to see sin bins introduced for denial of a goal-scoring opportunity rather than a player get sent off. What do you think on that?
Yeah, some great questions and what have you there. I mean, it's good summing up as well. You know, it's a difficult one. Like you say, it would bring into the game a little bit more tactics of how that sin bin's used. Yeah. You know, if I make the tackle, I'm only going off for 10 minutes. Yeah. Or am I going off all the game?
And isn't it going to spoil the spectacle because the 10 men just get behind the ball? Yeah. We'll see out the 10 minutes.
Yeah, I have mentioned it before. I've often thought that football could learn a lot from rugby, and that has always come up. The sin bin. For me, I'm not too sure. I think the red card, yellow card scenario works as well as anything.
Are we in danger of overcomplicating?
Yeah, I'm with Ursty there. I mean, great points by Roger, but who's going to monitor the sin bin? You know, the fourth official's he's got enough on his plate to deal with the benches.
He doesn't want to put his cup of tea down, does he?
He thinks it's easy, doesn't he? But you know, like I say, it's a great point about denial of a goal scoring opportunity. Yes. When you look at the Francis scenario where he's made a genuine attempt to play the ball, but then, you know, if we bring that in for that and then someone else just absolutely takes someone out with no intent of playing, or you know, with playing the ball, do you do the same to them? Yeah. So that's where you get your inconsistencies. But it's very difficult. What are you going to put in the sin bin? I mean, for me, I'd look at like perhaps dissent.
It'd be interesting to see a trial period of it. I'd be interested to see how well it worked.
Do you simply apply it to all standard yellow card offences, or is that just too simple?
No, I think, like as I said, dissent by action, delaying the restart of play, leaving the field of play without the referee's permission, coming on without the referee's permission. Those little things.
Would you find yourself in a situation where there's a lot of people sat in a sin bin? Because that's how we can. The players can then start controlling it a little bit by getting themselves into that predicament.
And then you go down to the minimum players required, and you have to ban it. That's right. The game has to be banned.
And we're 3-0 down.
I mean, as I say,
I get the game cancelled.
You know, we've got
a very strange one.
We've got a great spectacle at the moment, and I think the game's in a great place at the moment. It can need tinkering about with a couple with the laws, i.e. the denial of a goal scored opportunity. For me, sin bin, I'm with you, Ursty.
I'm not convinced it could work.
No, I'm not.
As for the video referee, I think that can help.
Yes, it can.
It prolongs the game. I mean, we mentioned there that it may break it up a little bit, but the referee's going to get some help in making the correct decision.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're all trying to do.
You know, we spoke about Defoe's hat-trick. You know, the play's not stopped. Everyone's carried on. The ball's in the back of the net. Hang on, let's just have a little look. Oh, no. He's onside. So the goal stands. Yeah. Bang, he's got his hat-trick and away you go. He keeps the match ball, he's happy. Let's go.
And as a player, you won't stop because you know that there's video evidence. It may be in your favour or it may be against you.
When the game stops, you know,
I think goal-scoring situations...
Key match decisions.
Exactly.
When the game has stopped.
And if you say you bring a sin bin in and you're saying it's only for these offences, how much more are you asking the referee to remember? Or he's thinking, is that a sin bin or is that a yellow card?
Well, we're going to have to then go to the video referee and ask whether I put him in the sin bin. They just all kind of worms.
So you're saying let's keep it simple.
Yeah.
Football's a simple game. It's a simple game. Let's keep it simple.
And it can be seamless, can't it? The voice in the ear is part of the refereeing team. But we don't have to say, oh, that was given by the referee in the stand. It's just a collective decision. He's had a bit of help from there, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, I look at it as the cricket scenario. Certainly in certain situations, you know, where the game is stopped, and pretty much all clubs have got the big screens now, and is it or isn't it? You know, like they do at rugby. Try or no try. Now, if you're spending 50, 60, 70 pound for a ticket to a football match, does it matter if it takes another 20 minutes? You're getting a bit more for your money.
It won't, because look how long it takes to restart play when
we've not seen some of the games I've seen.
When there's been a big key match decision.
Exactly, it's going to be pretty quick, but you know.
But during that kerfuffle, you can get the right
within 10 seconds. Within 10 seconds. Sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4 minutes to restart play from a big key match decision. But going back to the sin bin, if we are going to bring it in, for me, just dissent by action, failing to retreat the distance or restart play, delaying the restart play.
And thanks ever so much, and thank you to you for those points. There was also one that I didn't have time for from Andrew Turner, but it was rather on similar lines to others mentioned there. So many thanks. Keep them coming. My apologies to, I tell you what, a great header as in the West Ham game. He deserved a name check, and I've just remembered that I never mentioned that it was Andy Carroll who scored a David Hurst-like header on Saturday.
So he wasn't looking. He wasn't looking.
Having a laugh, but yeah, David Hurst header. I never saw him edible.
I've got a very long memory. Thanks. See you next week. Bye.